Hello and welcome back to the Core Learning channel. Today we're going to be looking at solving equations. So to start off with, we're going to look at the most basic kind of equation that we can get. So this would be around a grade 3 level question. So this would be when we have a mixture of x's and numbers, or it might not be an x, it may be a y or a z, but a variable and a number. So an example of this is when we have 3x plus 2 equals 5x minus 3. So how would we work through this? Well, the answer we're looking for is going to be x equals some number. So to start with, what we can do to solve this, we're going to move the number terms to one side of the equation. So to do this, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Now, we could also add 3 to both sides, depending on which side we're moving across to. But in this case, I'm going to say I want all my number terms on the right-hand side. So we subtract 2 from both sides. Now, on this left-hand side, we have a plus 2 and now we have a minus 2. So this is obviously going to cancel out. And on the right-hand side, we have a minus 3 and a minus 2. So this is going to become 5x minus 5. So the next step after we've done this is that we need to move the x terms to the other side of the equation. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 5x from each side. So on the left-hand side, we now have 3x minus 5x. Remember, we got rid of this plus 2 in the previous step. And we have 3x minus 5x, so this is going to be minus 2x. And now on the other side, we have 5x minus 5 minus 5x. So now the 5x's are going to cancel out here and we're going to be left with minus 5. So what we're going to have at the end of this step is minus 2x equals minus 5. So now we need to isolate the x term. So to do this, we can see we've got minus 2x. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by minus 2 now. So when we divide minus 2x by minus 2, the 2's are going to cancel out and we're going to have x equals, and then it's going to be minus 5 divided by minus 2. Now the minuses are going to cancel out because a minus over a minus is a plus. So we're going to have x equals 5 over 2 as our final answer. And just in case, to do a sanity check, plug this back in to where we have x and see if this fits. So we have 3x plus 2. So if we plug our answer for x into this side, well, this is going to be 3 times 5 over 2 plus 2. Well, 3 times 5 over 2 is going to be 15 over 2, plus 2 is going to be 19 over 2. So remember that, on the left-hand side we have 19 over 2. On the right-hand side we have 5x minus 3. So if we plug the x value into this side, we have 5 times 5 over 2. This is going to be 25 over 2 minus 3. So 3 would be equal to 6 over 2. So we have 25 over 2 minus 6 over 2 is 19 over 2. So we can see both sides produce 19 over 2, which means they are equal, and this is the correct answer. So let's run through a few examples and you can practice a few of these yourself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show the question on the screen, and what I want you to do is pause the video and have a go at this question yourself. If not, you can let me work through this first one, and then there are 2 more after this that you can have a go at yourself. So if you're ready and you want to have a go, pause the video now, answer the question, and then when you're ready, unpause the video and we'll go through the answer. So hopefully you've managed that question all right. So let's go through this step by step. Sorry about that, I just hit the microphone. So what we're going to do, we're going to move our number terms to one side of the equation. So I'm going to choose to move my number terms to the right hand side. So to do this, I need to cancel out the number term on the left hand side. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides of the equation. If I do this, I will have 4x on one side. The number terms have now cancelled out. And on the right hand side, I'm going to have 2x plus 16. So now I need to get my x terms to the opposite side. So to do this, I need to subtract 2x from both sides. So I want to move that x term from the right hand side to the left hand side. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So doing this, we can see I've got 4x minus 2x on the left hand side. This is going to give me 2x. And I have 2x plus 16 minus 2x on the right hand side. So the x terms are going to cancel out on this side, and we're going to be left with just 16. So now we have 2x equals 16. So I'm going to need to divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself. So when I do this, I'm going to have x is equal to 16 divided by 2. So x is equal to 8. And if you're unsure, you can plug this back in to check that it works. Moving on to the next one, we have x plus 1 equals 2x minus 1. So again, if you want to have a go at this, pause the video. When you're ready, unpause the video and we'll go through the answer. So hopefully you've had, apologies once again, I keep punching the microphone. So hopefully you've had enough time to answer this. Let's go through it step by step. So we'll go through it a bit quicker this time. So we're going to move the number terms to one side of the equation. So to do this, we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. Doing this, we're going to get x equals 2x minus 2. Now we need to move the variable terms. So I want both the variable terms on the left-hand side. To do this, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Now I'm going to have minus x equals minus 2. So what I need to do now is I'm going to multiply both sides by minus 1 to get it back to x instead of minus x. So when I multiply minus x by minus 1, I get x. And when I multiply minus 2 by minus 1, I get 2. So our answer should be x equals 2. And for the last one, we have 7x plus 2 equals 4x plus 11. So again, pause the video. When you're ready, unpause it and we'll go through the answer. So again, hopefully you found that okay. I'm just going to skip to the answer for this one, but you can obviously read through the methodology and you have a feel for it based on the previous examples we've gone through. So skipping to the end here, we have x equals 3. So now we're going to move on to some slightly harder questions. So this is going to be looking at the kind of grade 4 level. So when we're at grade 4 level, what we're going to see is questions involving brackets. So this extra step means we're going to need to multiply out the brackets first. So the rest of it will be exactly the same, but we now have one extra step to start. So we need to be able to multiply out the brackets, and you can see here we've got 2 times 3x plus 2 equals 5x plus 5. So we might have brackets on both sides, but the point is first we want to get back to the kind of template of question that we had in the previous examples. So if we multiply this out, we're going to get 6x plus 4 equals 5x plus 5. Now if you look at this, you can see this is exactly the same kind of question that you were just answering. So it's only one extra step here, but it is about a grade 4 instead of a grade 3 with this extra step. I don't know why I can't talk anymore, but here we go. So now we just follow the same methodology from previous. So now that we've got our equation in this form, we're going to move our number terms to one side. So to do this, we're going to subtract minus 4 from both sides because I've decided that I want my number terms on the right hand side. It is worth pointing out, it doesn't matter which way you do this, your number terms can go to the left hand side and your x term to the right hand side, or vice versa. It's really preference. Sometimes it may be slightly easier to have them go one way rather than another, Obviously, if they go one side, they might be a negative. If they go the other side, they'll be a positive. It doesn't make a difference to the overall answer, but it might just be slightly clearer to see. But anyway, we'll continue for now. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides here. We can see that the 4s are going to cancel out on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we're going to get 5x plus 1. Now we're going to move the x term to the left-hand side. So to do this, we're going to subtract minus 5x from both sides. This is going to give us x equal to 1. So as before, we're now going to move on to some examples. So we have 3 times 2x plus 1 equals 2 times 2x plus 3. So like we did before, pause the video, have a go at the question, and when you're ready, unpause it, and we'll work through the first one together. So hopefully you've managed to answer that okay. Let's go through this together now. So first step is to multiply out the brackets. So in the case of the left-hand side, we have 3 times 2x plus 1. Well, 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 1 is 3, so we're going to have 6x plus 3. Then on the right-hand side, we have 2 times 2x plus 3. So 2 times 2x is going to be 4x, and 2 times plus 3 is going to be plus 6. So we have 6x plus 3 equals 4x plus 6. To move the number terms to the right-hand side, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. This is going to give us 6x and then 4x plus 3. Now we want to move the x terms to the left-hand side. So to do this, we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. This is going to give us 2x on the left-hand side and plus 3 on the right-hand side. Now that we have this, our next step is that we need to divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself. So we're going to have x is equal to 3 over 2 as our final answer. So again, pause the video, have a go, unpause when you're ready. Cool, we'll go through this quickly so you know what to do. So for this one, our answer should be equal to 5. And then last one for this type of question, we have 3 times 4x minus 3 equals 10x plus 4. So pause the video and unpause it when you're ready. Cool, and again, we'll run through this quickly, but you can obviously go back and have a look at the working out if anything was confusing or you got the wrong answer. So we should have got 13 over 2 for that one. Moving up again now, so this time we're now at grade 5. So what is a grade 5? So now we're going to throw some fractions into the mix as well. So you can see an example question here. We have 3x plus 2 over 2 equals 5x plus 5. So now we're going to have an extra first step. So this first step is going to be that we need to deal with this fraction. So whenever we do this kind of thing, our first step is we want everything on one line. We don't want fractions. So how do we deal with this? We simply, in this particular case, we just need to multiply both sides by 2. So this is going to get rid of that 2 on the bottom of the fraction. So on the left-hand side, the 2's cancel out. So we're left with 3x plus 2. And then we're going to have 2 times 5x plus 5, which is going to be equal to, so yeah, you can see it there. So we have 3x plus 2. And then when we multiply the brackets out on the right hand side, we're going to get 10x plus 10. So you can see that each time we do this, we're just adding one more step to the start. But you can see now we're back to the kind of position where we could answer this using what I explained for the most basic kind of question, the level 3, the grade 3 question. So now that we have everything on one line and there are no brackets, there are no fractions, we can simply move the number terms to the right hand side or whatever side you choose, and the variable term, in this case x, to the opposite side. So when we do this, we move the number term to the right hand side. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. This is going to give us 3x equal to 10x plus 8. Now we're going to move the x terms to the left hand side. So to do this, we're going to subtract 10x from both sides. So this is going to give us minus 7x equal to plus 8. So now to get the x by itself, we need to divide by minus 7 on both sides. So this is going to give us x equal to minus 8 over 7. So once again, let's run through some examples. So we have 2x plus 1 over 3 equal to 3x plus 2. Pause the video, have a go, and come back when you're ready. Cool, hopefully you found that okay. So we need to get rid of that fraction to start. So to do this, we're going to multiply both sides by 3. So the 3 and the 3 are going to cancel out, and we're going to be left with 2x plus 1 equals 9x plus 6. And now we're going to separate out the variable and number terms. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides even. We're going to get 2x equals 9x plus 5. Now we're going to subtract 9x from both sides to get the x terms on one side. So this is going to leave us with minus 7x equal to 5. And now we are going to divide by minus 7 to isolate the x. And this is going to give us x equal to 5 divided by minus 7, which is minus 5 over 7. So the next one is 5x plus 3 over 2 equals x plus 6. So again, pause the video and come back when you're ready to go through the answer. Cool, hopefully you got on with that okay. So we'll skip to the end as you know the methodology by now. So for this one, you should have got that x was equal to 4. So last one for this type of question, we have x plus 4 over 4 equals 3x plus 2. You know what to do. Unpause the video when you're ready to hear the answer. Cool. So for this one, we'll skip to the end. As always, you can look back if you were wrong or anything was confusing. So your answer for this one should be that x was equal to minus 8 over 11. So now we're going to move on to the final type of question that you might encounter. So this is going to be when we have an x squared term involved. So for this one, again, we have some slightly different steps. So first of all, we want to get this x squared term by itself. So to do this, we're going to divide both terms by 4 in this particular case. When we do this, we're going to get x squared equals 16. So what we need to do now is take the square root of both sides, and this is going to give us x equal to plus or minus 4. Now, one thing that can lose you marks, you must remember that when it is a square, or if it is to the power of 4 or 6 or 8 or 10, it's going to be plus or minus. So remember that, because you will lose a mark if you don't include that. That is because in this case, the square root of 16 is plus 4 or minus 4. That is what that means. Minus 4 times minus 4 is also 16. So just be careful on this type of question. Anyway, let's jump into some examples. So pause the video and have a go at this, and then unpause it when you're ready to hear the answer. Cool. Hopefully you found that okay. So we're going to divide both sides by 3 here, which is going to give us x squared equal to 9. Now we need to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 9 is 3. So we have x is equal to plus or minus 3. And we have the next question here. Pause the video and unpause it when you're ready to hear the answers. Cool. So let's jump into this one. Now, one thing to be careful of here is this is an x cubed. So it doesn't fundamentally change the steps, but it will obviously change in the second step that we need to take a cube root instead of a square root. So we have 2x cubed, and what we need to do here is divide both sides by 3. Now I've just noticed a slight mistake here, which I'm going to keep in. Why not? So this should be 3x cubed. I have made a mistake here, but I will persevere. So you've obviously worked this out as 2x cubed equals 192. So in this particular case, what you should have done is divide both sides by 2, which would have given x cubed equal to 96. And then you would have needed to take the cube root of 96, which you would have just been able to leave in that form, because I didn't ask you to write it in decimal form, because obviously I messed up this question and this should have actually been a slightly nicer answer, but there we go. So in this case, using that question there, you should have had that x was equal to the cube root of 96. And I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but we'll move on to the next one. So the last question we have is 5x squared equals 125. So again, pause the video and come back when you're ready. Cool, we're nearly there, guys. So last bit. So in this case, we're going to divide both sides by 5. So we're going to get x squared is equal to 25. And we're going to take the square root of both sides. And we're going to get plus or minus 5. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learnt something today. If anything is unclear or you have any questions, leave a comment and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.